Welcome to The Explainer. It's really one of the greatest financial paradoxes out there. Earning a super high income, it absolutely doesn't automatically mean you're actually building wealth. We've all seen the numbers, right? We've read the stories, yet persistent financial struggle remains a stark reality for so many people, completely regardless of the size of their paycheck. Today, we're unraveling this core mystery. We're breaking down the 5 specific behavioral habits keeping people trapped in a cycle of poverty, and more importantly, how you can break free.
Have you ever wondered why some people make incredible money, yet they continuously struggle to just make ends meet? Meanwhile, you've got others with average, middle-of-the-road incomes who somehow build lasting wealth year after year. They buy homes, they create a rock-solid safety net. Well, the core differentiator here isn't the income itself, it's the habits. Today, we're unpacking the behavioral choices that separate the people who just look wealthy from those who actually are.
Okay, let's dive right into this with Section 1, the income illusion and the danger of earning more.
So this brings us to habit number 1, which is lifestyle creep. It's kind of like a classic case of Parkinson's law. You know, the one that dictates work expands to fill the time allotted for it? Well, in personal finance, expenses invariably rise to meet income. You get a raise, and suddenly you feel like you just need a nicer apartment, or maybe a flashier car, or a few more of those subscription services. Because these lifestyle expenses grow in lockstep with earning power, that extra money never actually hits the balance sheet. It's a total illusion of progress. You make more, but you're just as broke.
Moving right along to Section 2, the spending traps and prioritizing your money.
Habit number 2 comes down to a tragically common mindset. We hear it all the time. I'll save whatever is left at the end of the month. People pay their bills, they buy their clothes, live their lives, and they operate with every intention of saving whatever is left over. But human behavior is predictable, right? The harsh reality is that by the time the month ends, the money is already gone. Relying on sheer willpower at the end of a long, exhausting month is just a losing strategy. But wealthy people, they completely flip this equation on its head. They have a wealth habit. They save and invest first, the very moment they get paid. Only after securing their future do they spend what's left over. This is called paying yourself first. Treating your savings and investments as a non-negotiable priority, like a fixed bill that absolutely must be paid, rather than a casual afterthought, is a massive behavioral shift. It removes willpower from the equation entirely and guarantees that wealth is being built before a single discretionary dollar is spent.
Now, let's slow down for a second, because habit number 3 is the debt trap cycle. Listen, credit cards are incredibly useful tools for those who actually pay off the balance every month. But when they're used to fund a lifestyle you can't actually afford, the math turns against you fast. Month 1, you swipe for convenience or status. Month 2, compound interest starts piling up on those purchases. And by month 3, you're entirely trapped. Instead of putting your money to work for you, you're continuously paying a premium for past consumption. It becomes nearly impossible to fund your future when you are constantly paying off yesterday.
Let's transition to Section 3, the wealth gap and understanding assets.
Habit number 4 is a fundamental knowledge gap. It's working for money without ever making it work for you. See, decades are spent trading time for a paycheck only to park those earnings in a low-yield bank account where inflation just slowly eats away at the purchasing power. Real wealth requires understanding assets. It requires shifting from relying entirely on your own physical labor to leveraging investments that let your money multiply while you sleep. Without this shift, your income potential is permanently capped by the literal number of hours in a day.
But here is the good news. Time is the ultimate secret ingredient. Overcoming this habit means empowering yourself with financial education as early as possible. Because the earlier you learn, the more time your money has to grow. Once you understand assets, equities, and long-term growth, you give your money the runway it needs to compound. The earlier you start, the heavier the heavy lifting your money does for you. That compounding effect over decades, that is exactly what separates a comfortable retirement from persistent financial stress.
All right, moving into Section 4, the shortcut myth and the danger of fast results.
Habit number 5 is chasing get-rich-quick schemes. Look, we are human. Our brains are hardwired to seek the path of least resistance and the absolute fastest track to success. But while these schemes aggressively promise overnight results, they rarely create lasting wealth. In fact, more often than not, the only person getting rich quick is the guy selling you the shortcut. Instead of accelerating success, chasing fads and high-risk gambles usually just leaves people with painful financial losses and sets their wealth-building timeline back by years.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because the reality of creating an impenetrable financial fortress is far less flashy. It really comes down to a few basic steps. First, patience. Real wealth grows slowly and methodically. Second, discipline. You have to build and stick to consistent habits, especially when you'd rather splurge. And third, smart decisions, compounded over time. There's no magic pill, no secret hack, and absolutely no shortcut, just execution.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, the daily choice and rewriting your future.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate paradigm shift. It all comes down to rewriting your daily trajectory. Flipping from the 5 broke habits to the 5 wealth habits means consciously fighting Parkinson's law and keeping expenses low as you earn more. It means prioritizing your future self by investing first, vehemently avoiding consumer debt, educating yourself on asset accumulation, and practicing extreme patience rather than chasing quick cash. This pivot away from instant gratification is what ultimately completely changes your financial destiny.
Wealth simply isn't built overnight. As you can see, it is built through small, smart decisions made consistently over time. It's the quiet, daily discipline of paying yourself first and having the confidence to leave that expensive item on the shelf. If you want to keep exploring these crucial lessons, make sure to subscribe and join me for future explainers so we can continue building a stronger financial future together.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Which of these 5 habits will you change today to rewrite your financial future? You don't have to overhaul your entire life at once, but you do have to start somewhere to break the cycle. What is the one daily action you are going to commit to changing right now? Think about it, take action, and I'll see you in our next explainer.